day here at Crain and Company. We got the Sweet 16 and the Madness back tomorrow. But as usual, sitting to my left, former Michigan quarterback, and I'm not a big fan of him in Michigan this week, David Cone.
Our time.
To my right, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crain. Got a great show for you today. Quickly, Blaine, tell the people how the chat's going to work.
Absolutely. First things first, big shout out Michigan State fans. I'd love to see the collab between Auburn and Michigan State fans come together to hate Michigan together. It's a beautiful thing to see. If you are in the chat today, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It'll definitely get at the end of the show, we'll get read. We're going to have multiple polls today where you get to decide the winner. Lucky you. What's up, Dave? Well, you got some things to say.
Auburn and Michigan State fans, y'all would be friends. Lie with dog, get fleas, I guess.
You already tweeted that, dude. Come on.
No call-ins today. Call-ins Friday, though. No call-ins Friday.
No, because Friday we're live streaming, so we're not going to have the normal live.
So it's a fish, right?
Central.
It's a fish.
It's
super a fish.
It's super a fish.
We're doing this.
Wow. We're doing this. So we're going to live stream.
Y'all
bad or indifferent.
Y'all two are.
Yeah.
All right.
Blaine's going the game.
I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
Dragon's going to be correspondent.
Yeah, he will.
Okay.
Correspondent Dragon.
All right, Friday.
We're going to be at Mission Cigar and Social live streaming the game. We're actually going to start in the second half of the Tennessee-Kentucky game and go into the Auburn-Michigan game. So that will be our show for Friday. We'll see if they let us have one after that goes down. I'm going to try hard.
Might be our last show Friday.
Yeah, see how it goes.
I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Today, we're going to rank the most exciting Sweet 16 matchups in order. Sean Miller leaves Xavier to go to Texas, a team they just beat in the NCAA tournament. And Russell Wilson signs a one-year deal with the New York Giants.
Aaron.
Yay, I guess they fixed it. Not. Appreciate you joining us here on Crain and Company. So what? There isn't some 13-seed Cinderella in the Sweet 16. The matchups we are getting look to be incredibly elite, and we're not even to the Elite Eight yet. In fact, some of the same people who whine about the lack of Cinderellas would be the first ones complaining if there were mostly blowouts in the Elite Eight or the Final Four moving forward. Because all we can ask as fans of college basketball is that we get great games. We get games where the level of play is at its highest, where stars go against other stars, and where the games are back and forth heavyweight fights. And with this set of matchups that we have starting tomorrow, that looks to be the case. We have similar styles going up against each other. We have opposite styles facing off and everything in between. Because I would much prefer to be able to not know who will win the game until the last possession, rather than watching Cinderella hit midnight before halftime. So let's sit back and let's get ready for some high-level college basketball action, because we are one day away from the madness, once again, consuming us all. David Cone, you know, we've talked about Cinderellas, like Cinderellas, whatever. Just before we start ranking these, how excited are you just about the matchups that we have in the Sweet 16?
I'm excited.
Because they're awesome.
No, well, they are awesome, and that's what we were talking about on Monday is, you know, you can't complain about two different things. You can't say that you want Cinderellas every time March Madness comes around, but then when St. Peter's or someone goes to the Elite Eight, oh, they're just going to get blown out, like you said, to the analogy of it being midnight. Anyway, I'm excited about this beyond just Auburn and Michigan playing. I mean, this is a unique opportunity for us in this show. But, yeah, I'm interested, and we haven't ranked these prior.
No,
we thought about doing that, but instead, why don't we let the people see us rank these in real time? There's 8 matchups.
Yeah, because we could have sat and Blaine made a graphic and gone through it and come together and be like, all right, these are our top 8. But we want to show y'all, you know, real recognize real. We want to show y'all how the sausage is made and let y'all have y'all's input on it and really kind of see how we go through these rankings. But Blaine, when you're looking at these matchups quickly, how about you start? Because we've got 8 games. We've got 8 games. I want to go 8-1 if that's okay with you guys. Starting with the best game, the best matchup we think being number 1. Who do you have overall as your 8th best matchup in the Sweet?
I have Houston and Purdue.
Okay. Why
Who cares? It's going to be a boring game to me. I mean, I think what Houston does, I think Houston's going to probably. And I don't want to get here and hate on Purdue fans because I like Purdue fans. I think they're some of the most realistic fans in college basketball and just overall. But to me, 8, just from a Just from a big name standpoint, just from a narrative standpoint, I don't see a lot out on Houston, Purdue. Right now, the spread's at 7.5. We know what Houston wants to do. Purdue really doesn't have that big name guy like the head Zach Edey. Neither does Houston. So right now, 8 for me is Houston. Purdue.
Yeah, that's wild because that's probably where I would have it as well. It hurts to say like that's the least interesting because I can't wait for this one. And this is a 1 versus a 4. And we've talked all year about, hey, is Houston for real? And Purdue's now overperformed at least all of our expectations so far in the tournament. So, again, I'm excited for that one, but it probably is 8th, right?
It feels like it's going to be a low-scoring game. You feel like Houston's going to dominate on defense. I wouldn't be so surprised to see Houston run away with this game.
Okay, so let me just make the counter, because I don't think you're crazy to have it at 8. I thought, it could be a candidate for 8. I have it at 6, and here's why. Stylistically, these two teams are diametrically opposed in what they do. Houston, heavy defensive team, scrappy. Kelvin, not Kevin, think this is the best offensive team he's had at Houston in a while. I like LJ Cryer. And then you look at what Purdue wants to do. They're not overtly physical. They have smaller guards. They want to take a lot of jump shots. They want to run up and down and go in transition. With Kaufman-Renn in the post, I just don't think he's going to have the same level of success. And I've been surprised with the success that he's had so far in the postseason because he's a good player, but I don't think he's an elite player. So I can understand that. Y'all want to go Houston and Purdue at 8? Is that
whatever y'all think.
Well, if you have an argument for a better matchup, then I would love to sit here.
I had Florida, Maryland at 8.
No.
I had Florida, Maryland. And here's why. And there's a great argument against it. I know that Maryland's starting 5 is one of the top 5 in the country in points per game. But it's two things. One, Florida saw their life flash before their eyes against UConn. I mean, that feels like it's the closest game Florida's played in about 2 months. So I think you're going to get Florida's best foot forward. And then the depth of Maryland. Once you get past that starting 5, there is not a lot there. So unless Maryland's starting 5 can get out ahead of Florida and stay out ahead enough to be able to survive when they have to go to the bench, not that they're going to go there a lot, right? But those lulls in between, then to me, that's a tall order. I think Florida blows Maryland out of the water. I think Florida plays their best game so far in the tournament. But if consensus is Houston, Purdue at 8, I can understand that. Let's put Houston and Purdue at 8. Cone, who do you have at 7?
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably Duke, Arizona.
Exactly
if
what I
look
have.
at the 8 games, that one has the highest point spread. That's even a point higher than Auburn and Michigan. But, and I don't mean to be a fence rider here, but I'll say the same thing. Like, I'm still interested in this matchup and the way that Kevin Love or Caleb Love was able to perform against Oregon. I thought Oregon was going to move forward in that matchup. I hope all of them are buzzer beater games by 1 point, but I'd probably have Duke, Arizona next.
What about you, Blaine?
I would have Michigan State, Ole Miss.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think Arizona Duke, probably top 3 just because of Caleb Love and the history that Duke and Caleb Love have in general.
He did retire Coach K.
Retired Coach K.
Yeah.
Dropped 28 against him in the Final Four to put him out. Played him 9 times, 5-4 against him total. Almost averages 20 points every time they play. And the post-game interview when he got asked after they beat Oregon, about Duke. I think that narrative alone, and you put Cooper Flagg into the mix, so now it's Cooper Flagg versus Caleb Love. Trust me, Duke fans hate North Carolina. Just because North Carolina's not on the front of the jersey of what Caleb Love wears, they hate that guy too because put Coach K out, knocked him out of the Final Four. So I think, in my opinion, the Arizona Duke matchup is top 3 to me.
Really?
The Michigan State Ole Miss, I would say why. Tom Izzo's been in the tournament 47 times. All right, I know Ole Miss hasn't been there, which is somewhat intriguing, but Ole Miss is new. Not a lot of people know a lot of things about Ole Miss. Chris Beard, they're an old team. So there's nothing really spicy to me with the Michigan State-Ole Miss matchup that kind of jumps out in my face.
I was thinking about putting that one number 1.
Yeah, that's insane. We disagree heavily on that.
That's got the smallest point spread of all 8 games.
Yeah,
-3.5.
I'm not going off. You're not going to find the biggest point spread is what, 9.5?
Well, it's the Duke-Arizona game.
We're going to have Auburn-Michigan.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, well,
if it's getting lower, then
to me, I have Duke and Arizona at 7 because first, I think you make a case. Duke's playing better than anybody in the country right now, and the offense is going to be there. It's going to be there against Arizona with who they have, but it's the defense for Duke. And again, you can go through the past. I get it, right? This is a different Duke team than Caleb Love has played. This is not the same Duke team that he has played. I think this is one of the best defensive Duke teams that I have seen. I think they can shut down Caleb Love. And listen, I've watched Caleb Love shoot his team out of a lot of games too. I've watched him shoot them in them. I've watched him win it for him. Hell, I saw him hit a 65-footer against Iowa State to send the game to overtime. But Caleb Love, a lot of pressure is going to be on him. I think Duke rolls Arizona. I think they roll them. Not that Arizona's a bad team, but Duke is an absolute problem right now. So we got 2 out of 3, Duke and Arizona at 7. Blaine made the case for Ole Miss and Michigan State. At 6, guys, I've got Auburn, Michigan here. And if you take bias out of it, obviously I'm an Auburn fan. I'm the most excited about this. Blaine's probably the most excited about it. You're the most excited about it too, being a Michigan alum. But if I just look at the style of this game, the 2 7-footers against Janai Broome and Dylan Cardwell are interesting to me. But what do we always say on the show? What wins in March? Guard play, right? What you have in the backcourt. I think Michigan turns the ball over a lot. I think Auburn keeps hearing about how they're not what everybody thinks they are. And hell, I was listening to Gary Parrish, a guy I respect a lot when it comes to college basketball, made it sound like Auburn played bad against Creighton. That it's like, oh, well, they didn't play very well. Dude, you beat a top 3 Big East team by 12 that hit 9 threes in the first half. So I think Auburn comes out, puts their foot on the gas. So that's why I got it at 6.
Well, I can set my bias aside from an analytical standpoint, but what I can't do is my bias led to me watching Michigan games a lot this year and really Auburn games too throughout the course of the season, which has led to my intrigue in this matchup. And it's easy enough to say, well, Auburn's just that much better than Michigan, so that's going to keep it from being that interesting of a matchup. But if Michigan lost to every basketball team that was better than them, they would have gotten knocked out probably a while ago. They keep marching on. So there is a part of that to me that says, hey, if they can limit turnovers like they did from the first round to the second round, and they can make their free throws, we do have 2 7-footers. Can they compete in the backcourt well enough? Trey Donaldson transferred from Auburn. There's all sorts of narratives that make this game interesting to me beyond just our fandom.
Yeah. So who did you have at 6, Cone?
That's where I had, I think that's where I had Florida and Maryland.
That's where you had Florida and Maryland. Okay.
I have Auburn, Michigan at 6.
Okay.
Which I think the narratives are there. I mean, just the heavyweight battle that's going to go on in the paint in this game is just going to be fun to watch by itself. Hell, you can almost turn it into a 2-on-2, and it'd be phenomenal to watch. 2 7-footers, Dylan Cardwell, Janai Broome from Auburn. I mean, you got the Trey Donaldson narrative, Danny Wolf from BYU.
It's in Atlanta.
From Yale, and it's in Atlanta. So I have Auburn, Michigan at 6, and that point spread is 9.5.
Very, very interesting. All right, so we got 2 out of 3, so we'll have Auburn, Michigan at 6. So at 5, what if we go Florida, Maryland here? That's what because I had Florida, Maryland at 8. I'm willing to put him at 5. I like the argument you made. Cone, who did you have at 5?
Yeah, to me it was either Texas Tech, Arkansas, or then BYU and Bama, but I was leading Texas Tech and Arkansas. But again, that one's interesting to me just because Coach Calipari, we've given him such a hard time in March. Now he's moving forward with this Arkansas team and the upset over St. John's. I mean, look, a large part of that was St. John's shot the basketball more poorly than I've ever seen a team do in the tournament. But a large part of that is who you're playing against. Yeah. Arkansas can make you shoot the basketball bad. So I'm interested in that one as well, but that's why I had it 5.
Yeah, so what about you, Blaine? What did you have at 5?
I have Texas Tech versus Arkansas at 5.
All right. Why did you have them at 5 there?
Well, I think Calipari, is just such an interesting guy in himself. Like just having Calipari as your coach is going to knock you up a few notches. I mean, no matter where he is or what he's playing. But Texas Tech, more of a blue-collar team. Which is fun to play, but they want to suffocate you, just like Houston does. And I mean, Arkansas, a lot of guys out of the portal. They are getting a guy back that Calipari just broke.
Thiero,
who's an absolute dog. So after knowing that he's coming back, I mean, I even like Arkansas even more in this game. Not a lot of flash, I think it's going to be in this game, but it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Well, what I'm interested to see is, Texas Tech may get McMillan back too, who's a really good 3-point shooter. If you haven't watched Texas Tech this year, I know we got a lot of Texas Tech fans that watch the show. They shoot a lot of threes. So if they're hitting, Arkansas is going to struggle, I think, to score enough points against Texas Tech to be able to win this game. But if Texas Tech continues to shoot the way that they've shot, Arkansas will be able to stay in it, and they're playing their best ball right now with Boogie Flan and everybody. So just to recap, at 8, we have Houston, Purdue. At 7, we have Duke, Arizona. At 6, we have Auburn, Michigan. At 5, we have Arkansas, Texas Tech. So that leaves us with our top 4 left. But quickly, I want to go to the chat just to see what they think so far.
All right, let's get to a $5 donation from Mr. Overload. Appreciate it. Says, guys, the more I like in this Arkansas team with Cal. You're adding new pieces, and Texas Tech hasn't proved me enough already in the tournament. Give me Arkansas money line.
I just wonder who Arkansas is going to put on top and who's averaging 21 points a game in the tournament right now. That's what I want to see.
And that's the only double-digit seed that can advance, unless I'm mistaken.
No, that's the highest one.
$10 donation from the Drama Zone. Appreciate it. Can Caleb Love really end Duke again? Or is this where his villain arc crashes and burns?
That's what I'm waiting to see. It's a different team, so again, I think it's a different angle. I just don't want to rely on trends. One more and we'll get back.
All right, let's go to a $2 donation from the Stats YT. He says, guys, which coaching battle means the most and what coaching battle are you most excited to see?
Well, if Arkansas was playing Kentucky, this answer would be a whole lot easier. As far as which one means the most, man, I'm not going to say Duke, Arizona overall, but I find that one interesting because John Shire's in his first year at Duke, taking over for Coach K, right? And then you have Tommy Lloyd at Arizona, who struggled in the NCAA tournament. So, if Arizona's able to beat Duke again, or Caleb Love in Arizona's able to beat Duke, and they're able to advance, it kind of kills a little bit of a narrative on Tommy Lloyd. But if John Shire beats Arizona in advance, it's like, well, Duke's going to be the same old Duke, whether it's Coach K or whether it's John Shire. But I don't know how you look at this and don't think the Mark Pope, Rick Barnes matchup to me is one that I think is fascinating.
I was thinking Chris Beard and Tom Izzo, which is just another reason why I have that one ranked a lot higher. I think, and like I have Ole Miss in the Elite Eight, but that's another opportunity for a 6 seed to advance right there.
It is.
And I think that point spread's at 3.5 for a reason.
And guys, if Tom Izzo makes it to the Final Four, this will be his 9th Final Four that he's made, which is nuts to think about. The only other coaches that have done that, Dean Smith, Coach K, and John Wooden. So he would be the 4th. Which
wow,
is
Roy Williams hadn't done that?
Roy Williams, I'm sorry. He would join one of 4, so he would be the 5th. Roy Williams did too. Good call there. All right, let's get to 4. Cone, this is where I have Ole Miss and Michigan State. That's where I had this game. And when you look at the dichotomy of the numbers, and the numbers only tell you a certain story, but I've watched Ole Miss. I've watched Michigan State a lot because on Sunday, Big Ten basketball's on. The SEC's done on Saturday. I've watched a lot of Big Ten basketball. What I find fascinating here is Ole Miss is playing their ass off right now. They're shooting the ball really well on offense. You have 5 guys scoring double digits against Iowa State, which negates a rebounding disadvantage. Because it's tough to get the rebound when the shot's going in. So when I look at Ole Miss, can they continue to shoot this well? And then you look at Michigan State, who doesn't shoot the 3 well at all. Not a good three-point shooting team. They defend really well on the perimeter, and they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. So is it as simple as, Ole Miss just got to hit a ton of shots? Maybe more than normal to win this game, but Michigan State does like to get out and run a little bit with some of the guys that they have. They're really athletic. Holloman, Carr, Fears.
Carr can absolutely punch.
Carr's a freak show.
Punch it.
Yeah, he's a freak show when he gets above the rim. So I'm finding this matchup very interesting, and Ole Miss never been to the Elite Eight before as a program. So if Chris Beard and them win, it'll be the first time ever. That's who I got it for. What say you?
I had BYU and Alabama there.
I got Florida, Maryland.
You got Florida, Maryland.
Oh, I think anytime you go against Goliath, it should. And I think Florida, even with Auburn being the number 1 overall seed, Florida was walking in this tournament as Goliath. And you have Maryland. It's a bunch of freshmen out there. Queen, freshmen, some of their best players are freshmen.
Crab 5.
And you got the Crab 5, the nicknames there, the attitudes there, the mentality's there. Florida had that scare in the game before. So can Maryland beat Goliath in the Sweet 16? I feel like it's a fun narrative there, and I think a lot of people will be surprised. I think this game might be a little closer than what people expect.
I'm gonna side with Blaine. He convinced me there, Cone. I'm gonna go Florida, Maryland, which I had at 8 before this.
We hadn't done that one yet.
Jump for me.
Like...
No. We've got Houston, Purdue at 8. Duke, Arizona at 7, Auburn, Michigan at 6, Arkansas, Texas Tech at 5, and now Florida and Maryland at 4, which leaves us with 3 games left. Ole Miss, Michigan State, which we just talked about, Tennessee and Kentucky, and BYU at Alabama. So since I had Arkansas and Texas Tech at 3 and Ole Miss and Michigan State at 4, I will say Ole Miss and Michigan State at 3. That's what I'll say.
Okay. I got at 3, I have Alabama versus BYU.
You have Alabama versus
BYU. Yeah. You want to talk about games that's just going to be absolute chaos. This game's going to be chaos. Nobody plays defense in this matchup. Nobody really does. It's going to be a game of who can shoot the most threes. This game might be 150 to 155, right? And what do people love? They love the long ball, right? Home runs. They love long touchdown passes, long touchdown runs. And they like watching teams shoot a bunch of threes. At least I do. So I got this game at 3 to me. It's going to be certified chaos.
And you had Bama BYU at 4, correct?
Yeah, because I wonder if BYU can keep up with Alabama late in this game.
Yeah, so I had Bama BYU number 1. because I love when similar styles go against each other. Now, offensively, these guys are very, very similar in what they want to do. It's shooting the three or getting to the rim. There ain't a whole lot of in between, but defensively, they are polar opposites. Alabama does a really good job of running teams off the three-point line. They don't give up a lot of threes. That's not part of their plan. They would rather you drive in there to Cliff Omiori and Grant Nelson and Diabate and those guys. BYU on defense is the exact opposite. They give up. They let you shoot threes. I think they're like 278th in the country in three-pointers allowed. They want you to shoot the three as opposed to drive and go score at the rim. But if I'm playing Alabama, Cone, I can't let you do it. There's no way in hell I can let you do that. Because Alabama, if you let them shoot 50, they're going to shoot 50. Even though they're not the best three-pointing shooting team they've ever had in the net, they're probably going to make 20 of them. So if you're BYU, and Kevin Young.
But to that point, do you just do that and hope for an off night shooting from Alabama? Say, hey, we'd rather keep you at a distance from the basket.
Well, people would say, yeah, well, Alabama's not shooting the three great so far in the tournament. So yeah, that's what you should do. I'm the opposite. I'm a baseball. They're due. They're due. It's like hitting a line drive at the shortstop your first two at bats, and your third at bat, you get a dink hit over first base off the end of the bat.
If I'm BYU, I do nothing different in this game. I do nothing different. I am who I am. If I'm Alabama, I think it's more on Alabama to change a little bit than it is BYU, just because of the height that you have in the paint. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, if you exploit mismatches, and your mismatches in the paint, you have two 6'11" guys. BYU's starting five, their tallest guy's 6'8". So
but they rebound their ass off.
I know you rebound your ass off, but a lot of people try to rebound their ass off against Zach Edey, and it just didn't work. You know why? Because he's taller.
The old physics argument. Very interesting. All right, so since you had Bama BYU at 4, you had him at 3. Let's put him at 3 there, which leaves us with 2. Ole Miss, Michigan State, and then Tennessee and Kentucky are left. Do we want to go ahead and just say Ole Miss, Michigan State 2?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll go Ole Miss, Michigan State at 2, which is kind of a Cinderella story in its own right there. Number 1, Tennessee and Kentucky. Cone, just talk to me, dog.
Well, the thing is, they're playing for the third time this year. Kentucky beat Tennessee twice in the regular season. So that makes the matchup a little less interesting to me than some of these other matchups where they're facing each other for the first time. But then what negates that and makes it even more interesting is Tennessee's lost to Kentucky twice, and yet they're the higher seed and they're favored in the basketball game. So to me, that makes up for the intrigue of you seeing two teams that are facing off for the third time. And I'm interested to know, can Kentucky shoot 50% from 3 like they did in both of the first 2 matchups? Yeah. And Tennessee averaged what? 22%?
They went 11 for 45 from the 3-point line in their first game against Kentucky. Then they went 3 of 18 in the second game. But listen, there's a great argument for Kentucky and Tennessee being first. It's an SEC matchup that we haven't seen before. But Blaine, I don't believe in just the general adage of it's tough to beat a team 3 times. But you know what I do believe in? It's tough to beat a really good team 3 times. And you would think it would even out in this one. Because Tennessee, I can make the argument Tennessee's playing their best basketball of the season right now.
Well, I agree. When it comes to Tennessee, it's the only thing you worry about is what? This is scoring output. And you go look at Chaz and how he played versus Kentucky's games. It's not the same guy that we saw in at least the last 5 games where he was averaging 20 points. But it's different. It's different spilling blood when they're in your same conference. Mm-hmm. It really is. SEC, this is going to be a war now. Kentucky and Tennessee do not like each other at all. You're in the same conference. Kentucky's already beat them twice, and Tennessee's out for blood. And Tennessee catches a lot of hate, especially their head coach, Rick Barnes, for not doing what? Getting it done in the tournament. So you're going to play them the third time, but it's just different. It's just different when they're in the same conference as you. And I would say Kentucky's a blue blood program in college basketball. And I would
100%.
say Tennessee's a blue blood program in college basketball. And they're one of the 2 blue blood programs in the SEC going at each other in the Sweet 16.
See, I agree with you. Kentucky's a blue blood. I don't think Tennessee's a blue blood.
Would you give them a half?
You've never made a Final Four.
Half
bluish blood.
Yeah, you're there. Kind of like when I look at my wrist, it's kind of a mixture of both. Look at my veins. You got to make a Final Four to be a blue blood to me. All right, so our final rankings. All right, Kentucky, Tennessee 1, Ole Miss, Michigan State 2, BYU, Bama 3, Florida, Maryland 4, Texas Tech, Arkansas 5, Auburn, Michigan 6, Duke, Arizona 7.
Bring that back up.
And the final one is Houston and
that graphic is awesome, by the way.
Nice work,
it's an awesome control room. Purdue is a 4 seed.
And Purdue's a 4 seed as well down there in the bottom. So we're going to get that fixed and put out on social. But, all right, There it is. Let's get to the chat. Let's see what they think.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from Julieta Ramirez. Interesting fact about the Beard-Izzo matchup. It's a rematch from the 2019 Final Four when Beard was at Texas Tech and faced Izzo and MSU at Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
God, I can't talk today.
That was close.
Reading.
I just remember that because that was the other side of the bracket that Auburn would have been on if they didn't allow Virginia to double dribble.
Can't read. All right, let's go do a $10 donation from BB Ben. Appreciate it. Is Tennessee versus Kentucky the real national championship, fellas? Let's be honest. Or which team will get exposed?
The real national championship.
Which matchup?
The Kentucky-Tennessee matchup.
What? You seen Duke? You seen Florida? I mean, it's a great matchup. I got Kentucky. I got Tennessee making the Final Four and making the championship game in my bracket, but this Kentucky team, as much respect as I got for Mark Pope, and with the injury to Jackson Robinson, and I don't think this is the two best teams playing each other in the Sweet 16. I just don't see that.
Let's go to a $10 donation from Cam the Man. Appreciate it. I can't wait for this Auburn-Michigan matchup. But let's be honest, if Michigan wins this game and Michigan State wins this game, Michigan versus Michigan State in the Elite Eight, oh God.
Let's go.
Yeah, that would be must-see TV, but I'm just praying that doesn't happen. Let's go Ole Miss.
$10 donation from The Matter. Appreciate it, man. He says, Houston for Purdue feels like a game. Whoever gets to 51st wins.
Yeah, it's just like, and I've slept on Purdue. I mean, I'll be honest with y'all, I had Purdue losing to High Point. Then I thought there was a pretty decent chance McNeese could beat them. But Purdue's matched the physicality. I got to give them props, but this Houston team, it's just a totally different level. But let's go and get to the poll.
All right, let's get to the poll. Which underdog team has the best chance to upset a higher seed in the Sweet 16? BYU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, or Michigan?
BYU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, or Michigan?
I'm going to say they said, I'm going to say BYU, 38%.
Ole Miss.
You said, what did you say?
BYU, 38%.
All right. Michigan, 21%. Ole Miss, 22%. Arkansas, 26%. BYU, 30%.
Wow, that's
right.
tight.
Cool.
That's tight. That's how good these games are. That's how tight it is. But speaking about tight, all right, you want to be in good shape. You want to be tight, like a tiger, like they said on Austin Powers. And it's beach season coming up. Like, you got to win beach season, all right? Especially if you're a college student going on spring break. Can't go out there and be looking sloppy. And that's where our friends at FitBod help level up your workout. They got a personalized, custom plan. You can be in a gym, you can be in a jungle, you can be next to a jungle gym. It doesn't matter. They will find a way to help you avoid burnout with the exercises that they have. They have over 1,000 HD demonstration videos. So they understand you, they track your progress, and it is the best way to get in shape. It's like having a personal trainer, but it's even cheaper and way better. So level up your workout and join FitBod today to get that personalized workout plan and get 25% off your subscription, or you can try the app free for 7 days. That's a week at fitbod.me/booster. That's FITBOD.me/booster. All right, Coney, let's move on. There's been some other stuff that's going on.
All right, let's get to some reactions. Let's bring up this graphic by NCAA buzzer beaters. They did a great job with this. This is where every Sweet 16 team starting five began playing college basketball. I think this is pretty fascinating. I mean, first off, a couple things that stick out. There are more guys who started their careers at Texas Tech playing for Michigan than there are for Texas Tech's team. Duke, 4 out of the 5. That's impressive. You got Houston, 3 out of their 5. Michigan State, 4 out of their 5. Purdue, the only school up there in the Sweet 16 where all 5 starters began their careers at Purdue.
I thought this was like the best representation of how the transfer portal has affected college athletics. And they don't tell you what, they make you guess which team it is.
Yeah.
So like, I know that the first one on the top left column, if you're on audio, you can't see this. You need to check it out on social. We'll put it out. But I know that's Auburn because Miles Kelly's Georgia Tech, Denver Jones at FIU. But the second one is Michigan, right?
Correct.
Right next to him.
You got Trey Donaldson with his Auburn tag
and then
there.
Danny Wolf from Yale.
Yeah.
I get that one. The next one right there with a player from, they've got Virginia Tech. That's not Ole Miss, is it? I don't think it is.
I know the next one's Michigan State.
Yeah, the next one's Michigan State for sure. Because then I think the next one is or 2 over is Ole Miss because Malik Diaz from Belmont. So you got 2 guys from Belmont on there, and Padula's from Virginia Tech as well. So I just didn't know Ole Miss had 2 players from Maryland.
Yeah, I believe it's Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild to see this come. This was a great find. I know it got a ton of traction on social, but what a crazy representation.
Someone was making a point that this is the new version of Cinderellas in March Madness. The players are Cinderellas from smaller programs, but now they've transferred out to bigger conferences, and the teams aren't Cinderellas so much.
Gotcha. So that's Bama down there in the middle where you've got the Rutgers, you've got Ohio's Mark Sears, North Dakota State's Grant Nelson. I do know that one. Then obviously Houston's got to be like you brought up. And they kept it kind of close to home. 3 from Houston, 1 from Oklahoma, and 1 from Baylor, which is in Texas. But just a really cool group.
Yeah. All right, next one up. Rick Pitino's son, Richard Pitino, leaving New Mexico to take the head coaching job at Xavier, right?
Yeah. This, again, it's part of it now. Sean Miller leaves Xavier, which we're going to talk about, to go to Texas. New Mexico's coach, Richard Pitino, which is Rick Pitino's son, leaves New Mexico to go to Xavier. It's a smart move to me by both parties. I mean, why would you not want a Pitino being the head coach at your spot, including with what he's done at New Mexico? And don't forget, JT Toppin was at New Mexico. If they kept Toppin, that New Mexico team with Donovan Dent and some of the other guys they had, I know they just got put out there by Michigan State. But I think it's a great hire for Xavier. I'm interested to see who New Mexico is going to bring in. But again, at the end of the day, I don't think you can go wrong bringing in a Pitino at your basketball program to be the head coach.
And like you said, Sean Miller leaving Xavier to take the head coaching job at Texas now. Your thoughts on that?
I know we obviously, we cover college football about as deep and as well, in my opinion, as anybody. And, we talked about even in college baseball with A&M's coach going to Texas, when they meet in the College World Series. But is there a bigger slap in the face to a program to when you're the head coach at a respectable program like Xavier, right? You're in the Big East. All I know about Xavier is from basketball. That's it. I know their baseball team's decent sometimes, but you just beat Texas in the NCAA tournament, and then your head coach leaves where you're at to go to the team he just beat. And I know Texas got more money than God. I get it. But is that that's tough, man. I know
for Xavier?
Yeah, talking about for Xavier. Damn, man. That really makes you look like a stepping stone. It really does. And I've got a lot of respect for Xavier. So it's a great hire by Texas, I think. You ask anybody to say Sean Miller's a genius or whatever, but, the SEC just gets harder and harder, dude. Damn.
Is Xavier a stepping stone to Texas?
Well, it's a stepping stone to somewhere else, apparently.
Which job would you rather have?
Oh, Texas.
Texas.
I get paid more money.
It's about money. It's about money. It's about NIL. I think Texas they're investing enough in their basketball program that they want them to be as successful as their football program, right? I really think they want that. I think the SEC wants that. I think you're seeing big, high-class teams saying, look, football matters, it's king, we know that, but basketball is damn close. Extremely close, and I think Texas is starting to invest. Look, if Texas really starts caring about basketball, they got enough money to throw around to get whoever they want.
Well,
whoever they want.
That's true, but I've watched Texas have Rick Barnes and Kevin Durant and not do it.
Yeah.
I've watched Texas have Rodney Terry and Trey Johnson and not do it. I've watched Texas have some really, really good teams. Now, it's not saying they can't. You throw enough money at something for long enough, you're going to eventually break through. I think Sean Miller is a lot better coach than Rodney Terry. I don't think it's the ability to go get players that was the problem for Texas. I just don't think Texas has had the right guy in there. And Sean Miller, to me, could be the right guy. And, just add it to the list. Add another big-time coach to that, to the SEC. It's not getting any easier out here on these streets.
All right, so Bennett Sturts is heading from Drake following his coach McCullum to Iowa. What's the latest on that?
Well, Bennett Sturts, the white boy wonder, one of the exciting whites from the NCAA tournament, started on no draft boards at the beginning of the year. And right now, if you look, I believe it's according to ESPN, he's the 35th overall prospect for the NBA draft. But he's going to stay in college. He leaves with his coach, which I think he left with his coach from Northwest Missouri State to go to Drake. So now he's following him again to go to Iowa. But if you're Iowa, and I know Fran McCaffrey did some really, really good things there, probably about to be Caitlin Clark's father-in-law when it comes down to it. And he's now the head coach at Penn, by the way. Fran McCaffrey just got that job. But this just feels like the style of play this fits Iowa. And maybe it's because of the football and Kirk Ferentz, where it's not sexy, it's fundamental, right? We're not out here trying to change the way the game's played. We're trying to play the game and uncomplicate it as much as possible. That's the style of system that McCollum's going to bring to Iowa. And I don't know, if you're a point guard on Iowa before, you best hit that transfer portal, buddy, because you ain't playing. So I thought it was a great hire for Iowa. The guy's won everywhere he's gone. You got an NBA point guard.
He's just the most Iowa-looking kid ever.
100%.
He'll do well.
Oh, he'll do great.
He'll do well.
Iowa can sneak around. I'm trying to remember what year it was. Iowa had like 3 of them. 3 of them. Huge and could shoot.
Yeah.
But they got put out kind of early in the tournament.
Well, you remember Iowa had those twins because Auburn beat them that one.
Yeah, that's
right.
They
had those twins that were really, really good. But they love their basketball over there too. They love it in that state. I recruited it. They love it.
All right, let's bring up that viral tweet that says you can't be a fan of a school unless you went there. It basically has some stipulations here. 1, attend the college. 2, your parents went to that college. 3, you live within 30 minutes of the university. I mean, I have no problem with anybody who wants to support a team, right? I just love when guys love sports. Where it gets a little weird is if you're a Duke basketball fan, a Dallas Cowboys fan, and a New York Yankees fan, and a LA Lakers fan, you're front runner Frankie a little bit.
To your point, Coney, I agree with you 100%. If you have no affiliation with places, you just root for the best teams, or if you have no affiliation with a college football team, like you're an Alabama fan, but then you're also a Duke fan in basketball, like you said, it's not that I don't like you. It's not that we couldn't be friends, but I can't respect your sports takes. I can't, right? I can't. That's like being like, oh, hey, I'm a Democrat or a Republican or whatever, depending on who wins. Like, I'm just not, that's not the way to do it. But to me, I'm not a fan of telling people if it's going to be one team who they can be a fan of, right? Some people want to be fans of teams just out of spite, like Blaine, never been to New York. You want to know why he's a Yankees fan? Because me and my dad were Braves fans. So, like, there's other ways than just going there or living close to there or whatever. But to your point, Cone,
there's got to be something, though, right? There's got to be a line.
Do we need to do like a guideline?
There's got to be. I don't think attending to college has to make you a fan. I didn't attend Auburn. Right?
But it's just one of those things. It's saying that this is like one of the things that allows you to be a fan. Because they say your parents attended college. Like our dad went to Auburn.
Yeah.
We didn't go to Auburn. Or you live within 30 minutes of the university and regularly engaged.
So does that mean you have to still live there, or you lived there at one point?
We moved 11 times in the city of Auburn. No joke. My dad used to say when he knew where the Civil War was, it was time to move. And now that I have a house, that is some psycho behavior.
But I'm talking about on his...
No, but what I'm saying is, like, I lived there for most of my life, so I don't live there anymore, but that should still count, like, to your point. Like, I agree with you. But what would be... There's more, though. There should be at least 10 of these. And maybe we have to come up with them.
What was the last one he said? You can't be an Alabama fan
if you live in California, that should be criminalized. I think just being an Alabama fan in general should be criminalized. I think we need to bring it to Congress, to be honest, and have an honest conversation about it.
What if you went to Bama and you took a job in California?
Yeah.
Acceptable. That's acceptable.
I think he's doing too much.
All right, next one up. This morning routine that's just going viral here. Did you guys see this?
I haven't seen this, but it's all everybody's been talking about, so I do want to see it.
3:55 a.m. is when it starts.
There's no way.
Cap, right?
Yeah. This dude lies the entire video.
I thought that was Reggie Bush. Okay, we're doing.
It's daylight. It's daylight outside right now.
Yeah, no, it's like 12:30 in the afternoon. 100%.
Did it break? He's reading the Bible and taking notes on the Bible. Dude. Like, why aren't you in the military?
Why are you dumping your face in a
Who's there
bowl?
with you?
Who's up at 6:02?
Okay, so now I'm guessing we're going to work out. Where does he live?
You know where this guy's name's Ashton Hall. He went to Alcorn.
Oh, did he play football?
Yeah. He had like 3 rushes for 8 yards his whole career.
Well, yeah, obviously the morning routine didn't work. Okay, I'm already weird. I'm already, like, I don't need to know
just
all
wait for the
this.
banana part.
Like, I don't...
Wait till breakfast time.
So, like, what does he do?
This.
Like, it's 7:30.
This is it.
This is what
This is his job.
Just
Yeah.
doing random things?
Yeah.
Like
Jumping.
that?
It's good to meet you, man. Respect it.
This must be a longer one than I even saw.
Yeah.
So
it's a different one than I saw.
what type of water is that? Bro, I want to watch this dude shower. Okay, what? Okay. Okay. No, I'm done.
He's just
The
making
banana
himself
on the
up.
face.
And there's a couple, like, there's the video of him, like, he's on a Zoom call with nobody.
Yeah,
He's on a Zoom call with nobody,
This is,
and he's explaining what to do.
I don't know why this reminds me of. Does this remind you of American Psycho?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting.
Right there. No, run that back. Run that back. Right there. Play it. When he's on the Zoom call. He's just dipping his face in bowls of water.
That is good for skin.
We got to do at least 20, bro.
He's not even on a Zoom call with anybody.
How do you know?
He's talking to because my brain works. Nobody talks. Like, listen to what he said.
You've made your first 10,000. Congratulations. We got to do at least 20, bro.
You ain't on the Zoom call with anybody.
The American Psycho point, though. That's
This like gives me those vibes. Like, I'm just waiting to see like him compare his business card.
Yeah, I need to see his business card.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if it's bone white,
That's ivory.
ooh.
Yeah. No, that's I'm already weirded out by that. I don't like it. And now I'm uncomfortable.
Oh,
on
man.
our
All
own
right,
show.
2 NFL updates. Russell Wilson, boys, to the Giants on a 1-year deal, $21 million. So both quarterbacks for the Steelers last year are in New York now. Russell Wilson with the Giants, Justin Fields with the Jets. What do you guys think about this?
I just want to pour one out for Giants fans, man. Like,
Thanks.
y'all, you know, we talk about real fans. Y'all real fans. Y'all are real fans sticking by this. And look, I know you got your Super Bowls with Eli and Strahan and them. So I'm guessing y'all are good. But so your idea to get rid of Daniel Jones is, let's go get the Steelers quarterback. That's the plan?
Russell the muscle, baby.
Like,
And they signed Jameis Winston. Come on.
Yeah.
Mike.
like
They're going to be eating dubs. Let's think about that quarterback room. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
Wow. The dichotomy.
I'm
The
just
fight
like, so,
of who to do the pregame speech will be epic.
So, and I get it. Look, after what the Falcons did in last year's draft, who knows what the Giants do, though. They may take a quarterback still. Does this mean Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers?
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Has to now.
Been saying it.
Has to now.
Been saying it.
Is this the thing, though, back to the pregame speech? That's really interesting. Is this the thing where, like, Russ has to give the pregame speech,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
because it's like, but then all the other players, when he's done talking, they
Slowly
kinda go
gravitate to Jameis. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sort
Didn't
of
Russell like
a
wanted
de facto.
Didn't Russell get like 6 parking spots?
At the Broncos?
Like a corner office.
Yeah, that's what.
Like
that's
demanded
what
all
Sean
this
Payton
in
was
his
like, no,
contract.
get out
I
of here.
guarantee there's stipulations in his contract that says I must give the pregame speech.
I don't like the Giants. There's obviously a plan. I just hate the plan. It's just like on Austin Powers when he like shuts the door when he should just, when Scott's like, why don't you just shoot him? Just shoot him in front of all of us and we'll be done with it. He's like, no, I'm just going to close the doors and assume it all went to plan. Like, that's just what it feels like when we have the Giants. I don't know how y'all do it, man.
Last one up, Stephon Diggs to the Patriots on a 3-year deal worth $69 million.
That's Stephon Diggs keep getting paid all this money.
I mean,
getting paid to say to him is Nico Collins. And I would take Nico Collins 1,000 times before I took Stephon.
Right now I would. So, I mean, that's all that's relevant. But if you're Drake May, at least it's some help. I'm Drake May, at least it's something. I mean, you had nothing going into this. So, Stephon Diggs, you're not winning a Super Bowl, so you might as well pack that one up and send it down the river. But you're getting paid $69 million. It's going to help Drake May out. We'll see how it goes with the Patriots here moving forward. But, man, I just that one kind of surprised me because I thought Stephon was going to try and just piggyback off of some elite, amazing team and maybe take lesser money to go try and win a Super Bowl. But no, happy for Drake May, but, you know, for Stephon, it was a good career, bud. Good career. All right, let's get to the chat before we get to these locks, these leans.
Let's go to a $5 donation from the Baker. Appreciate it. He says, guys, is Jameis Winston going to be QB1 at the end of the day? I'm taking Jameis over Russell.
No, Russell Wilson.
I would say Russell. I agree with you, Cone.
All right, $5 donation from Saul My Own Shadow. Appreciate it. Can't wait for Aaron Rodgers, G-Pick, and Metcalf to absolutely tear down the NFL. It's going to be an Asawasa meeting
Ayahuasca.
and a full-blown brawl on the sidelines.
Well, I've got a theory on this.
You have a theory?
I've got a theory on this.
Series?
You know how you control crazy people? You put a crazy person in charge of them. But they've got to be, Cone, different types of crazy.
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers got some crazy in him, but it's different than the George Pickens crazy. I think the Aaron Rodgers crazy may be more similar to the DK Metcalf crazy. So I think it can all even each other out, right? That's why you don't put 3 arsonists together, right? In a cell. You put an arsonist, right? You put a terrorist, and you put a thief.
It's going to even each other out all right. Mike Tomlin's streak of winning records, I think, is going to go by the wayside.
I disagree. I think they're going to skyrocket.
Even though I do think Aaron Rodgers has a little bit left in him.
He
was throwing dots before he got injured with New York.
Aaron still got some in there. He's got some in
We'll see.
Let's go to Coach Rue. What's up, brother? He says Drake May has a target now. Maybe the Pats aren't a last-place team anymore.
Well, I mean, if that's the goal, I mean,
that
okay.
is the goal. Don't finish last.
Don't finish last.
Let's go to $5 donation from Fifi. He says, went and saw the news that Russell Wilson signed with the Giants. Trust me, I'm going to buy a gun right now. I can't deal with this.
I think y'all the real MVPs, man. Like call a friend, phone a friend on this one. Suffer together. You know what I'm saying? I hate the plan. I absolutely hate the plan. All right, but speaking of plans, guys, we were once again in the green from Locks, Leans, and Dogs to start the NCAA tournament. That now, by my calculations, the last 5 times we've done Locks, Leans, and Dogs. Because again, our live show Friday will be the live stream of the second half of the Tennessee-Kentucky game and the whole Auburn-Michigan game. So we're doing these today because we couldn't do them on Friday. So here's what I got. Bought down the BYU-Alabama over in my locks here at 170. It's at 175.5. I bought it down to 173.5 because you can get it at minus 135. I expect a high-scoring game, even if the shooting's not great, because the amount of three-pointers are going to be taken. Then my second lock, Florida and Maryland, over 156.5, because I think Florida can score a lot against Maryland, and I think Maryland's talented enough to put up a decent amount of points against Florida. I feel like a 85, 75 type game coming. That's at minus 112. And then my leans. Michigan plus 9.5.
Here we go.
Maybe the best bet on the board. David.
Here we go.
At minus 118. That's a lot of points.
Don't touch it.
Michigan's been playing great. And then Duke. You can get it for minus 9.5. And the money is on Arizona at minus 112 with the way Duke's playing. I think they slow Arizona down, offensively. Give me Duke minus 9.5. And then my dogs.
It keeps getting worse. Like it's somehow you find a way to make it get worse every week. It's almost a talent.
All right, my dogs. BYU money line.
Homer take.
Not a homer take. Not a homer take. At plus 180, I think BYU can do it. I mean, they're playing really well. They've lost, one game in a while, and that was to Houston, who's pretty damn good. Then the Ole Miss money line at plus 150. Like, I looked at the odds of underdogs in this game. If you would have told me that Ole Miss was less of an underdog to Michigan State than Michigan was to Auburn, I would have thought you were high as you know what. So give me Ole Miss money line at plus 150. Chris the Beard.
I like it.
They got a chance.
I must like it. I have the exact same locks. BYU and Alabama over 175.5. I'm not buying it down at all. That's minus 108. I think a lot of people are going to be taking the over in that game. And then, Florida, Maryland over 156.5, minus 112. I'm leaning Arkansas.
I don't hate it.
5.5 against Texas Tech, minus 110 on the odds there. How about Tennessee and Kentucky under 144.5, minus 112? I think Tennessee got the memo after losing those 2 regular season games to Kentucky. We know how good that defense can be. This is March basketball. I think we're going to have a tight ball game, and it's going to hit under 144.5. And then my dogs, rough. I got to take underdogs, so I'm going to take Michigan plus 350. Let's see. Shock the
world. Y'all going to do it.
Shock the world. Let's move on to the Elite Eight. And then I agree with you on Ole Miss, man. Plus 150 right now. I already had Ole Miss moving forward in my Elite Eight in my original bracket. So, hey, let's see if we can get some good value there. Plus 150. Yeah.
Think about it if we'd have told you that even during the SEC tournament, that, hey, Ole Miss is going to play Michigan State, and they're going to be a 3.5-point dog. Man, I'd have called Pam Bondi on you the minute I heard that.
All right, I love it, boys. Locks of the century, guaranteed to hit. All right, Arizona Duke over at 153.5, minus 114. I think Caleb Love's going to have a day. I think Duke wins this game. I think Caleb's going to put points, threes. I think it's going to be a high-paced game. Then maybe the best bet I've ever seen in my life. All 30 years of my life, this might be the best bet. Guaranteed lock. Guaranteed lock.
That's a Blaine Crain
Guaranteed.
guarantee.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Plus 9.5 going off at minus 118. You sneak into your parents' room. You look under that mattress. And you grab that $20 for a rainy day, and you put it on Michigan plus 9.5. All right, leans. Houston minus 7.5 going off at minus 120 against Purdue. Purdue nearly adopted the dark. Trust me, Houston was born in it. Give me Kentucky plus 4.5. Like the 9th time they played Tennessee. Obviously, it's going to be a close game. It's going off at minus 115. And then my dog, sounded like a seal, I know. Ole Miss, money line plus 150. Older team. This line has just absolutely shrunk.
Caved.
Shrunk throughout the day. I like Ole Miss. And give me Calipari and the boys. Okay. Right now, they're technically a Cinderella. They're streaking. They're getting a kid back who's one of the best players on their team. So give me Calipari and the boys going off at plus 195.
So you both have Michigan. I can only assume that's how you're going to be pulling on Friday. You know, pulling for your bets to really hit, you know, make some money.
Yeah, Auburn by 9.
Yeah. That's win by 7.
Perfect scenario.
You know? It doesn't get much
Auburn
better
by
than that,
9. Yeah, and you're right. Arkansas is streaking. The only question left there is KFC still open? All right, let's get to the bets before we get back to the donos and the chat. And once again, I will remind you, good people of the Booster Club, men, women, children, and everything in between, we will not have a live show at 2 p.m. on Friday because we are live streaming the second half of Tennessee, Kentucky, and then the whole Auburn-Michigan game, which I'm going to be honest, I'm excited that Auburn is there, and David, you know I love you, and you're one of my best friends. But I'm not looking forward to this.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Look,
I am.
Look,
I'm not.
I think y'all
I'm
got
ready.
nothing to lose. Yeah,
I'm ready.
I think
Popcorn.
there's a little bit on both sides of that. Like I think Michigan fans, you're playing with house money. You're on a run. You weren't expected to be here. If you lose, you know it sucks. We had a great year. Look, Auburn fans, they want to win it. We're just glad we made it to the second weekend. Like we are. At least I am.
People get to.
At least I am. Thank you. We made it to the second.
Like it's mask off Friday. Like we give y'all unbiased coverage on Crain Company all the time. But on Friday when that game tips off, you're gonna see it.
Just don't get us
like when boy with the dragon tattoo looked in the mirror. That's what you're gonna see.
Okay, I don't know what that means. But
Mayor.
The mirror.
Say woof.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Minneapolis later. Anyways,
Minneapolis got you
tonight. Gonna bet the NIT. By the way, your boy hit both his women's college basketball bets because I'm always just gonna take UConn to cover
and
the 1 seeds to cover. It's pretty simple. Tonight, Andy Kennedy, the AK and UAB goes out to take the Anteaters. Take on the Anteaters of UC Irvine. Give me UAB plus 2.5 at minus 112. Dave,
love their mascot. Love
All
their
right,
mascot.
boys. 0-2 in hockey on Monday, but fret not. I'm going back to the ice. I'm going to take the Oilers with plus money, plus 115 at home hosting the Dallas Stars. And then I'm going to take the Islanders-Canucks game over 5.5 goals going off at minus 110.
All right, Dave, I love it. Bring mine up there. We're betting on hockey, y'all. One of those days. Give me the Canucks and the Islanders under 5.5.
What?
Minus 140. Sorry, Dave.
Why are you doing that?
I didn't even know.
Damn, you really typed everything out, didn't you?
You took...
Wrote a book over here.
It matters, all right? We pay attention to the details here.
You can put the sign on.
Call me Kevin Sampson.
Good.
All right? Give me Boston Bruins at the Anaheim Ducks over 5.5 going off at minus 128. No points, then points. Shout out Cleveland State.
All right, before we get to Aces, that's not Cleveland State's real mascot, right?
No, it is.
No, it's not.
Okay.
What'd you say they were?
They're the Steamers.
No, they're not.
Look it up.
I don't.
They're the Cleveland Steamers.
No, they're not. There's no way, because I don't know about this. There's no way. Please, come fact check this for me. What are they, like the Eagles or something?
I don't see Cleveland Steamers.
Yeah, that's not
Dave?
a real. You know what?
What do you say?
There's something wrong with you.
Close your eyes and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see sex stuff.
I see sex.
It's like the Sixth Sense.
Did you type
2.
in Cleveland Steamers?
Yeah. All right.
That's great.
The Stars and the Oilers. Over 6.5.
What kind of ads am I going to get?
Oh, yeah. Congrats.
Oh,
Look this up on
You
Blake.
shouldn't ask Grok that. And then he's going to take the Ducks minus 130. All right. For the love of God, please get to the chat.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from Ashley W. Appreciate it, Ashley. She says, Ashton Hill's videos are the dumbest things I've ever seen, and you would think he has millions of followers on Instagram.
He does?
Yeah, like 9 million.
9 million. For that? To watch a guy rub a banana on his face? Well, how much did Will Levis get paid? Because he dipped his banana in mayonnaise or whatever. Like, I don't know.
$5 donation from Gene. Appreciate it, Gene. He says, who is the clutchest player left in the Sweet 16?
The clutchest. That's a good one.
Cooper Flag. Let's find out.
Well, as long as there's not a wet spot on the floor. I would say
Walter Clayton.
probably Walter. That's it. You're exactly right. I would say Walter Clayton.
$5 donation from Mac T. Appreciate it, Mac. Says Michigan State and Auburn fans coming together. Sparty and War Eagle.
Yeah.
Screw Michigan. It's a definite L for those boys. Danny Wolf can suck it.
Sounds about right. That sounds about right. Good.
This guy, good. $5 donation from the Rebel. He says, y'all all picked Ole Miss just to spite us. I hate all three of you.
No, we did not. No. First off, and you can look right here, brother. I had Ole Miss going to the Sweet 16 in my bracket. You had them going to the Elite Eight.
Isn't it an Ole Miss fan saying we're jinxing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks we're jinxing them.
Well, no, bro. What? I picked y'all to make it here.
No, that's
before.
the thing. You can't make them happy.
Like,
You can't make some fan bases happy. If you pick them, they get mad and you jinx them. Trust me, I had to deal with this with Tennessee for years and years. And other ones, if you don't pick them, then you marginalize them and you don't believe.
and then you pick Tennessee to win the College World
You
Series.
can't
What
win.
happened?
I pick
What
both
happened?
of y'all. I pick every team to win it.
Yeah, just impossible.
$5 donation from the Brewery. Appreciate it. A beautiful relationship is becoming with Sparty and the Eagles.
Good God.
It keeps getting better each day. Everybody hates Michigan. God, what
All right, where
great,
the Ole
what
Miss
a
fans
great
at?
morning to wake up.
No, they're
in
pissed.
our
No,
region,
the Ole
right?
Miss fans are here.
Where's
They're
Ole
pissed.
Miss? Ole Miss.
That we picked them to win.
Y'all want to form an alliance here or what?
That's right. Just hide your dads.
What does that mean? Oh, yeah, I get it now. Well, do I need to Google that one, too?
No, your quarter.
Yeah, you
Hey,
can.
Your
that was
computer
fake
light on
and
fire.
made up. That was a cyber attack, Jake.
You're right.
Didn't you hear what he said?
Yeah.
$2 donation from Drew. Appreciate it, Drew. What do you think of Iowa's hire of Ben McCullum?
Talked about it earlier. I love it. I think it fits. And it could be sexy. And you got Bennett Sturts. That's what we call a sweetener.
$5 donation from the KG. It says, can't wait for the Sweet 16 to start tomorrow, and I know Jake and Blaine will be cheering along with me tomorrow. A little mess up. Hashtag Bama sucks. Hashtag go Cougs.
Look, I'll keep it a buck with y'all.
Alliance, BYU, Auburn, Michigan.
Good. So Michigan, Alabama, and Ole Miss. I'll take that alliance. Let's
Okay,
go.
that's
I'll
fine.
ride with that
That's
alliance.
$10 donation from Mr. S. As someone who attended the school of the collegiate athletic teams I cheer for, people who gatekeep fandom are absolute worst. To that clown, you are not the arbiter of fandoms.
I like that response.
It's a very mature response.
I like that response, but also if you're a Duke, Yankees, Cowboys, and Lakers fan,
Yeah, look, we appreciate you watching the show, but it's just hard for me to take you super serious when you're doing it. Like, what are you gonna tell me? You know,
I had some.
I'm over here and with Auburn, got it out the mud.
I had some really good friends like that.
I did too. There's
Yeah, I
some
like
great
the
people like that. There's some
Lakers.
great people like that.
Like,
okay,
dude.
we're not saying you're a bad person. I just question your choices.
$5 donation from Dan. Appreciate it, Dan. The more I look at this Auburn and Michigan matchup, the less I like it. Oh, wait, just kidding. Michigan sucks. We're going to kill those two.
Good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
I like
Be there
it.
on Friday.
You want to know
now.
what's funny?
Be there
All right,
on
here we go.
Friday.
No. Hold on. You want to know what's funny though? When we had our take on the whole Michigan State scandal thing with the Michigan players standing on the logo, and we just gave our honest opinion on it, right? The Michigan State fans in the comments on Instagram were absolute douche canoes.
No, they're childish.
No, and now we're coming together now. Now, yeah,
See,
now you
now-
wanna
yeah,
come
that's what I
together.
wanna say.
Now
Yeah,
you
short
wanna come
memories
together.
over here.
And I hope you do. I'm willing to call
Short
truce.
memories.
I'll call truce. But I remember what y'all said.
Good. You should
I
remember.
remember what y'all said.
There are no
It's not
Michigan
nice.
fans in the chat
I'm about to get
today?
to a $5 donation from Connor Stallion's agent.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not worried at all. Auburn can't even decide who's their mascot. I'm not even worried about these bums. Danny Wolf to the trees.
Boom. See, and he put trees in there too.
Okay,
He
man, why you
knows.
got to bring the mascots in?
Why you got to call us bums?
Also, talking about Connor, look, there's going to be special guests coming in the studio.
Yeah, rumor has
next
it.
week,
Rumor has it.
so.
Oh boy's stopping by.
Last donation of the day, a $5 donation from Michelle. Appreciate it. She says, Tahad Pettiford is my hero. No one on Michigan will be able to stop this guy.
He just when he gets cooking, like if that first one goes in, like he made that first one versus Creighton, because he's gonna keep shooting. Like Tahad, the shoot button never goes off. It's just is it going in or not? Like that's the biggest question. So we'll see. You just never know, man. Like with basketball too, like golly, Roddy Gale will hit 9 threes. I can't wait to have to suffer through this with David while he watches Michigan run pick and roll with 2 7-footers. God,
Must be nice.
I'm putting 1,000 on Auburn.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're
I
not.
may put 1,000 on Michigan just to make.
I'm putting 1,000 on
Liar.
Michigan plus 9.5.
I'd put a money line because why not?
No,
Plus 320.
9.5. The win-win.
Plus 350, actually.
Win-win, boys.
All right.
Good day.
Good day. Good day. Remember, tomorrow, Locker Room Talk, Friday, live stream, Sweet 16. Be there. Or be lame. The choice is yours. This is America. You can choose to be whatever you want to be. Anything else? Parting shots for today?
Good luck Friday, Dave. Y'all don't just, y'all.
You're going to the game.
I'll be at the game.
That's even worse.
I don't want to go. But I'm a good friend. Y'all get after each other, but, let's just make sure the channel's still there when I get back. All right?
It won't be.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're going to have a review of how this week's gone down at work because of the Auburn-Michigan matchup for you guys.
We already have time scheduled with HR on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I am.
Well, I have a
my
meeting with
body's
HR every Monday, so good to see y'all in there now.
Yeah, my body's ready. All right, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you check us out tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button. Like the chances of it not going down with these matchups in the Sweet 16. We're going.
Oh, I almost caught my foot. See your bucket step.
Gone. Yeah, good ones. Tear your knee again.